What's up, listeners? Welcome back to another episode of the Jaftaf Show, and we are the Jaftafs.
Yes, boys and girls, today we're discussing about the second part of the last episode of what we discussed. That's Avengers Endgame, directed by Russo brothers.
Yeah. So, last time, I remember when we were discussing about Infinity War, there were so many factors and so many aspects that we were not going on to.
Yeah,
So, guys, it's been quite some time since we recorded, right? So, and that was what happened between Endgame and Infinity War and Endgame, right? After 5 years. So just take it that way only. So
yes,
yeah, today we are going to talk about Infinity War as well as Endgame,
yeah.
and what are the aspects that we were talking about, like what could have happened and what uh, could been better, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, guys, uh, let's go on this Endgame ride with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, so, okay, would you want to start it? Wow, like, what are your takes on this?
Okay. So just for the recap part, I remember when we were talking about the Infinity War, I was more enhancing on the part that how it could have ended, what could have been
Hmm.
like possibilities, not by the movie aspect, by the logical aspect. Like these guys uh, could have taken different choices, just like Tony Stark decided to take the time stone away from Earth, right? And he was not even aware where Captain America was, right? And if I know that if Tony Stark would have slightest idea about the army that is in Wakanda, he
Hmm.
would not have taken the Time Stone or Doctor Strange away from there.
Yeah.
And he didn't even knew about Vision. Means actually he was very unaware, and we could see that he wanted to solve everything on his own,
Hmm.
right? And Endgame is a different journey. So
Yeah.
yeah, that were my thoughts
Hmm.
about, yeah. And yeah, you can share yours.
Yeah. So for me, Endgame is uh, the movie I didn't expect because when we talk about the color schemes and the theme, basically the theme what the movie carries. From the first movie, the Iron Man, and till the Infinity War and Captain America first Captain Marvel's first movie. So, then they didn't release the movie just after Infinity War. After Infinity War, they released one Captain Marvel's movie that led to connection. Uh, they just built a bridge between two movies. So till that movie, like we see a lot of vibrant tone to all the movies, except Ragnarok because that was slightly dark. But yeah, like Infinity War still had that vibrant tone and that story aspects where you can just feel something more, not exactly negative, but in Endgame you see there's complete darkness. Obviously, the title says Endgame, so everything is gonna come to end. So, uh, like the director and the writer wanted to show that everything is dark and you still have small hope left. So I just take it that way. But yeah, so but yeah, man, we never saw this kind of movie from MCU. Like it had like a very dark theme, uh, thematically and as a color palette as well. But yeah, man, but stakes are more higher than Infinity War in this because obviously the whole world knows Tony Stark uh, dies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, obviously, because Tony Stark accepted his fate,
Yes.
right? He told Captain America that this is my second chance. Actually, I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
take
yeah.
risk on that. And still, he knew that he cannot help himself from stopping to help others,
Hmm.
right? Because that is what he was. Uh, and how they obviously when we watch Infinity War, there was very less breathing space between uh, action sequences, right? Fighting sequences,
Mm.
and they were so much engaging. In the whole movie, we are just continuously in fighting part. But in Endgame, it is like they are building everything for the last moment, every single thing for the last moment, and
Mm.
yeah, it was worth it,
Yeah.
right? The whole, the fighting sequences and whatever the things that were happening in that fighting sequences, uh, and the dialogue delivery there, it was pretty great. So we'll start from the beginning, when they show Hawkeye, his family, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how what led him to become an assassinator, and
Mm.
then why, uh, and like how this Ant-Man
Yeah.
guy came back
Actually,
to Earth.
actually, Infinity War. I mean, like the Endgame story continues from the Ant-Man Part Two. Right, exactly
Yes,
from
yes, yes, I
the.
remember. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
after Infinity War, Ant-Man and Wasp came
yeah, yeah.
when he went uh,
To Quantum Realm.
inside, yeah, quantum realm, and then he was not able to come back. But
Hmm.
because he got lucky, so he just came back.
He
That was
came.
like,
He came with help of the mouse.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and so yeah, from there, like how the story begins, and even Ant-Man and was not sure like how he just wanted to do that. Like he just wanted to make things right. That was his motivation. He was as a character, his weight was not there on screen, but he wanted to make a change, right?
Hmm.
And obviously, Captain America and
Yeah.
Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, they listened to him, and I just love it when they met Hulk.
Oh,
When they
okay.
were they were trying to make that time machine thing, and Hulk was like, "I see this as an absolute win,
Yeah,
time
yeah,
travel,"
yeah.
right? It
And
was
and
funny.
okay, like I will take it more funny. Like I saw this movie multiple times in Hindi and English. So uh, the time machine, what Hulk says like this, he's like time daketi.
Well,
Okay.
I don't want to go there
Yeah.
because I remember in 2015 when Avengers Age of Ultron came, so some of my school students,
Yeah.
they went to watch that movie and they were like, bro, they were talking in Haryanvi, and I was
Oh
like,
shit.
because that Russian accent, that
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Witch and that her brother, because they
Yeah.
had in English they had
Uh,
a Russian accent there,
he,
right?
he was a copy of
Uh,
Flash.
So yeah, so but he dies anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, where we were like time travel, and then Tony Stark comes, and he gives shield to Captain
Captain
America.
America.
Even at that particular time, how perfectly story. I'm talking about the pace of the story. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were never exaggerating things, but they were giving us some glimpses, just like in Endgame when they show Thanos for the very first time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we can see that how cruel he is, and right now he is in his battle mode,
Mm-hmm.
because in Infinity War he gave up like on the battle part, like he abandoned his suit in the beginning of the movie, and right, and he didn't even had his sword that he used to break the shield of Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
So there the pacing comes up. You know, until unless you haven't watched the previous movies, in that particular portion, people will get bored, I'm sure, because the
Mm-hmm.
pace is very calm there.
Yeah, yeah.
How these guys are deciding where the stones are, right? How uh, they are building up the characters until unless they come to the part where the real war starts, where they bring back the people, right? Until unless you don't have the knowledge about the previous story, you'll get bored, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So many people watch this movie just because Infinity War and Endgame. So many people watched just because everybody was watching this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, man,
Yeah. So
it was great.
I'll add one more point what you said about when Iron Man comes, finds that device where he can control the location in quantum realm, and when he handovers the shield to Captain America, so he says that let's keep this between us, don't anyone like that for strangely it reminded me of one episode from Power Rangers SPD where a Red Ranger gives his badge to Blue Ranger that you become Red Ranger from for this fight. And okay, I'll give you the context. So Blue Ranger was more worthy to become Red Ranger, but Red Ranger guy who played the role, he was just in rags. Like he was just like a random guy in the street. So people, the Blue Ranger used to think that this guy is not worthy enough. Why did he? Why did the dog, the master, choose him to become a
Yeah.
Red Ranger? But I don't know. That dog guy had his own reasons to choose him as a Red Ranger. But even as an audience, we know that Blue Ranger deserves to be a Red Ranger. But there's one episode where he gives his remote to Blue Ranger that now go fight. Like I give you this. So it reminded me that that Red Ranger is Tony Stark and Blue Ranger is Captain America. That he's handovering something. So I don't know. Strangely reminded me of that scene.
Yeah, but it's just like both the times when he gave him the shield,
Yeah,
it was great. First time when like I didn't bring everyone for everyone, so just keep it between us.
yeah.
And second time, you know, hey buddy, wake up! You lose it again. I'm keeping it.
Ha 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 ha.
When Thanos attacked on Avengers base, so it was great. And so, these guys decided to go to different realms to different time zones
Mm.
to like to collect the stones. But my question was just this one thing. They all knew that after vanishing, after destroying half of the universe, he is going to go to garden,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And after 20 days, he is going to destroy the stones.
Mm.
So the same scenario is going to happen in every single universe,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So why didn't they just decided to go to the garden exactly after he destroys half of the universe of some other universe? So there Thanos will have nothing to protect himself except the stones, and Avengers will be much more aware about the things that
Mm.
they're like, how can they stop the guy, right? Because the only thing they need to do at that particular time is just to cut the hand,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they could have just bring all the fucking six stones to their universe, could have brought back their universe and took the stones back to that place or
Mm.
gave or left it there so that the Avengers of that universe will come back and see the stones and they can use it to revive their people.
Uh, I think they didn't choose this path because if they do this, this movie might not cross box
No, no,
office.
no. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm literally, why I was keep on finding these logics. What could have happened? What could have happened is because I was so devastated that Tony Stark died.
Ah,
You
okay,
know,
okay. You
yeah.
remember a scene where who's this? James Rhodes. He's like, we'll go back in the time and we'll destroy the.
And I was like, that's
I was
cool.
like, oh, dude,
It
you're going
happens.
dark.
But they could have done that too.
If I was
There were
there, I could try.
because how much look for the movie aspect, it was great, it was so great, whatever they done, but how much risk they were taking at every single point of time.
Mm.
When you remember when they were correcting Tazerac and
Mm.
Time Stone and Soul Stone.
Mm.
Loki has Soul Stone, right? Yeah.
Huh.
Loki's
Uh, the
Loki
he no he has a tesseract stone. Like
his scepter has soul stone. I remember. Loki's scepter has
the
soul
yellow
stone.
stone.
That's
Yeah.
why, yeah, for Vision,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, soul stone.
the one that Vision had. So they plan to collect all these three stones in 2012 when these three
Mm.
stones were at the same place, Time Stone, Tesseract, and Soul Stone. So they were able to collect Time Stone and Soul Stone. Soul Stone was taken care by Captain America, and Time Stone was taken care by Bruce Banner, right?
Mm.
Tony Stark and Ant-Man were not able to collect the Tesseract because some shit happened
Yeah, due to
by Hulk,
Ant-Man. Due to
due to not
Hulk, yeah, yeah. He's like
Hulk,
stairs.
and then Loki, the Loki that we see in the series, actually the guy who took the Tesseract and went back wherever he wanted to.
Mm.
So there, Captain America and Tony Stark decided to go further back when it was the birthday of Tony Stark. I remember telling Captain America that set it on 4/4/9/70 because 4th April is actually Robert Downey Jr.'s birthday.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So so I went back when I was watching this scene. I went back and watched that particular part again. That oh
Mm.
yes, it's 4th April, but obviously Tony Stark was born in I guess in 65, not in 70. You
Okay.
know, even the conversation happening between Howard Stark and Tony Stark. You remember, like Howard Stark was telling that I'm nervous,
Mm.
my wife is expecting, and you know the best part was when Howard Stark asked his driver
Yeah,
that
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Jarvis, have I met this guy before? And he said, you meet a lot of people, sir. And his voice was actually Jarvis' voice, and it was great. You know, it was
Yeah.
so great. That particular element was so
He
amazing
he
because
was
I always loved Jarvis.
he was saying that, sir, you met a lot of people. You meet a lot of people every day, but this guy feels homely. Something.
You know, Howard Stark said that have I met this guy before? Because the feeling was there, no? Because before
Yeah.
leaving, he said like my father was tough on me, but when I look back, I remember the good stuff, and and thank you for everything that you've done for this country, you
Yeah.
know, by taking a pause. So that kind of feeling, you know, I was also imagining this kind of scenario is just like if by somehow by default, if we go back to meet
Mm.
our fathers when they were in their 20s before we were born. So I
Mm.
was like, how they are going to react, right?
Mm.
And how they are going to uh, uh, like how the feeling is going to be like you cannot express, you cannot tell them, right? Because at that particular, I was also feeling very bad that at that particular moment when he met Howard, he knew that after 20 years, his father and mother are going to die
Mm.
by the hand of Winter Soldier, but he couldn't do anything about that, you know. So, you know, in actual, if you see somebody in that position that he knows everything what is going to happen, but he
Mm.
still has to focus on that particular moment. No, I'm here to just collect Tesseract.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
So, so that also made me feel like, oh yeah, Tony
yeah.
Stark actually went through a lot
And
in
there,
both the movies.
and there we can see that Captain America meets Peggy Carter. Uh, like
Mhm.
there, he just gets to see her, and he remembers like how life was with her before when
Mhm.
when he met her. He was like, I don't know, man. Like only that feeling that boys can understand this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Only the boys, you know,
Yeah,
because at that particular period, he would have thought that this is the woman that I always wanted, but
yeah,
I could never have. But but if you were dedicated enough to be there, you know, he went back to time and just lived
yeah.
his life.
And you remember, like in Endgame, like these people go to meet Thanos in the garden, and before reaching the planet, I don't know what number is it. So this guy sees his photo of Peggy Carter before entering. So
Yeah, yeah. Captain America,
yeah,
Captain
Captain
America's.
America. He sees for the first time. Might be he might not come back, so he just had a look of Peggy Carter, right? Man, like that guy was like he was dedicated to only one woman.
you know like you would have watched these memes. You know, I'm not objectifying that every woman is like that, but you know these memes where like women are like okay, they just don't think about the guy, and boys after 70 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Still
yeah, 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 yeah,
seeing
yeah,
that watch compass
yeah.
and checking their girls,
Actually, I can
that
say
was.
I can say one more thing. Like, there are like few celebrities and like there are like few actors who I came across where I see few comments in that. Some people have commented that this is the picture boys carry for their war before going to war. So yeah, I've seen this in meme also.
So yeah, I was also very happy, yeah, Captain America lived his life,
Yeah, yeah.
so. But I was literally feeling very bad for Tony Stark that in Infinity War he lost everything, right? In Infinity War he lost everything, and then in Endgame when he was actually able to create something new,
Mm.
then his people lost him. And the
Mm.
last message that he gave to, okay, we'll come back to that later. But yeah, like extracting all the stones. The only part I was very, very less interested to know about when what was the stone that Hawkeye and Natasha Romanoff went to
Uh,
take.
uh, I think it's like purple stone,
There
right?
is Ether, yeah, Ether, Tesseract, Soul Stone,
I'll just
Time Stone, Reality Stone. No, 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 Reality Stone. I don't know. Well, you had to make a sacrifice to get that stone. I just
uh,
know that.
so we have like six stones. Space stone, mind stone. So Loki had mind stone, reality stone, power stone. What this Natasha died for? Time stone and soul stone. No, no. I think it's soul stone.
Yeah, I guess
Soul stone.
I'm make so the mind stone is what Vision had that was inside to
Uh,
Loki's scepter. That's why he
hmm,
was able to control the mind. And Soul Stone is the one that was getting by making a sacrifice of a person. Means by giving a soul, you'll get the stone,
hmm, hmm, hmm.
right? So yeah, I was very less interested in that part actually. When I watched that movie again, I actually skipped it. I was like, okay, okay, just die
Yeah.
already.
Man,
Sorry, my bad, my bad.
like I think Natasha should have not died there because Hawkeye. I don't know, man. I never kind of liked Hawkeye for no reason because he had like weird hairstyle and in Hawkeye series also he was very bad. So I thought like
Natasha would have looked great,
yeah.
when at
Actually,
the end war.
I want to see a lot of Natasha stuff, but I don't know. They killed like so
A
in.
lot of Natasha stuff.
I mean, like more of her
Guys,
character,
guys, you see where he's going. A
more
lot of
of
Natasha stuff.
more of her character, more of her presence in.
I want to see more of Natasha stuff. Like when will we met? Like,
Yeah, but yeah,
but
man.
you remember when Spider-Man was taking the gauntlet from one place to another at the end of the war, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
then all the women character came on screen to
Mm-hmm.
save like Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, everybody. So
Gwyneth.
there Natasha would have looked great, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Natasha
yeah,
should have been there because she was the
yeah.
first woman Avenger, right?
Correct, correct.
She should have been there. I guess Hawkeye should have died because they wanted to
Mm.
make a stupid series. That's why they just kept him alive. Sorry, Hawkeye, but it
Yeah.
was bad.
No, no, you can actually go on because even I hate that series.
So, yeah, that way, Natasha could have stayed. And, the best part of Black Widow's character that she is connected to everybody. Like when you talk about Iron Man, she came in Iron Man 2 for the very first time. Then she was with Captain America in the second part. And all the time when Avengers came, like she was one of the great agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Natasha should have stayed. Like they should have made a series on Natasha Romanoff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could have talked about talked about more deeply about the backstory of her. That she was facing in Age of Ultron when Scarlet Witch did something with her mind in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the movie, and she was thinking about what happened. Sorry, in the middle of the movie, that she was thinking about, oh shit, like what happened with me and what I have faced in my life. So, that could have been stretched, right?
Hmm.
It could have become a
They
front.
actually dig this part slightly in Black Widow movie, but
Mhm.
they nearly destroyed the whole movie. Dude. Like,
That is what I'm saying. They could have divided it into series rather than making She-Hulk
yeah.
and Miss Marvel, right? I guess you will agree with that.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like whatever rants I had, I did it in the previous episode. So, like for the guys, you can just go to previous episode. Yeah.
Yeah, so their choices could have been much more better, just like they gave so much like what power to Loki means the series when we watch series,
Mm,
both the seasons when we watch Loki, it is very different. You
yeah.
know, they could have shown like Scarlett's journey, how she met Nick Fury. I don't know whether I haven't watched Black Widow movie, but I
Black.
wanted to.
Oh, you haven't watched Black Widow?
No, 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 I haven't
Okay.
watched Black Widow.
Don't watch.
So, just
Yeah.
on my assumptions, what I would have wanted to watch. Okay,
Uh,
when let's talk about from the Winter Soldier part.
uh,
So, like in Winter Soldiers, we can see that Natasha Romanoff replaced one other, and then in Iron Man 2,
we lost you after Natasha Romanoff.
hello,
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
hear me?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm saying that in Captain America Winter Soldier,
Hmm.
Natasha Romanoff was entire time like helping Captain America, right? So we could see like she knew so much about Shield.
Yeah.
She was a very good friend with Nick Fury, right?
Hmm.
And even in Iron Man 2, it would have been great to know that why she was sent there, like
Hmm.
how it was decided to send Natasha Romanoff to help Tony Stark
Hmm.
to make things better, because that is Iron Man 2 is the part when Tony Stark and Happy got to know Natasha Romanoff is not just the secretary, but it is more than that,
Yeah.
right? Even we watched Nick Fury in that movie only for the very first time, I guess in
Uh,
Iron Man 2.
I guess like he. Okay, I don't remember. Like it's been a long
But
time.
Natasha Romanoff came in Iron Man 2 only.
Yeah.
So they
When
are like
you know what one funny thing happened. Like when I saw Iron Man 2, I'm like, who the hell is this hot chick, dude? Like suddenly
yeah,
she came on
like you
screen.
mentioned, like you wanted to see more Natasha stuff, right?
I
So I
I
guess
mean,
from
like
there
more
only.
of Natasha stuff in the sense, like you mentioned, like we have to watch his previous story. So I
Exactly.
mean, like more of Natasha stuff in this manner, not in.
So there we can see like means their story could have been explored. There they could have
Yeah.
uh, show Hawkeye like how these guys became friends,
Uh,
right? In Avengers 1, when Hawkeye was manipulated by Loki.
hmm.
So Natasha was the person who took care of Hawkeye, right? And there was this one uh, clip in the movie where Natasha is checking that how we used to fight, both me and Hawkeye. So there they could have shown like how Hawkeye and Natasha's uh, relationship was. Because in Avengers, when we watch Avengers 1, the chemistry between Hawkeye and Natasha was there. So people might have think that these guys might have some connection, but in Age of Ultron, we got to know that Hawkeye has a family,
Hmm.
right? So there we can
Yeah.
so many aspects to study, dude. There.
Actually, when you talk about this, like I feel more interested that when uh, Natasha Romanoff and Captain America they share the screen, because obviously from the previous movies they develop a bond of friends, and during Endgame also before Ant-Man, Scott Lang when he comes from Quantum Realm, we see that they share a small private moment where Natasha is kind of emotional. So there, I just predicted that yeah, she's gonna die now, because like as a writing part, like when you I don't know, there's a meme that I have seen a meme that when a main person is gonna die on screen, usually directors and writers they show their most emotional part of it so that audience connect to it when they die. So uh, so there were two characters in this gonna die is obviously Tony Stark. They had established that thing from previous movies. So like as an audience, we kind of predicted that. And here in Endgame, I predicted that she's gonna die because they showed that very emotional part of it. So I don't know.
You know, this movie was spoiled for me. How I'll tell you. So when this movie came in 2019, so uh,
23rd April.
I went to watch. Sorry.
2019, 23rd April. I remember the date.
So, one of the person that I knew, they went to watch the movie on the first day in the morning only. So when they came back, I told them like, I even uninstalled my Instagram so that people will be putting up
Yeah.
stories and stuff. I was like, I'm not going to see that. So when I met them, so they said only just one thing, and that was enough to spoil the
What
movie.
did it say?
They said to me that at the end of the movie you are going to cry. And I was like, there can only be one reason for me to cry is that if Tony Stark dies. And I was like, shit, man.
Yeah.
Spoil the
Yeah,
movie for
for me also, similar incident happened, but for you it was indirectly, but for me it was directly. Like I think I've told you this that I was just roaming around with my friend. He just randomly eating chips, and he just told me, "Bro, he's gonna die." I'm like, but yeah,
like
fine.
shit. So, but still, man, I know I was a person who was screaming the most when whatever the things that I just remember when this fighting sequence started between the most three powerful Avengers versus Thanos, right?
Mhm.
Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor when they started fighting with Thanos. So I remember when uh, Stormbreaker was hold by Thanos wield the Stormbreaker and started about to like kill Thor when
Mhm.
it was in his hand and he was about to put it is in his chest. And then we see that Mjolnir is
Mhm.
somebody like Mjolnir is coming on like up
Yeah.
and everybody was thinking maybe Thor is trying to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Even I thought the same
you
thing.
know when it hit Thanos and came back in the hand of Captain America, you know what happened? Everybody was like, "Oh shit, what is happening? Thor is going to die." When we see that Mjolnir came in Captain America's hand, I have no idea. I stood up and started screaming. I have no idea. It was a natural reaction. Sometimes when you react, you are aware of what is happening. It was a
Yeah.
natural reaction.
Uh,
I was like, whoa, the person who was next to me, he was very calm in the movie, and then he also started screaming, and everybody started screaming when that happened. And the entire sequence when Captain America was breaking the bones of Thanos. How smartly he was fighting with his shield and Mjolnir. That was the time then the respect for Captain America came back in me because from the
mhm.
Civil War part, I kind of start disliking him because he didn't took
Mhm.
stand with Iron Man. So
Yeah.
at that particular time, that grudge was there. But when he took up the Mjolnir, I was like, dude, this
Yeah.
this is how a character earns respect, and and he earned the respect of the people, and he became worthy to wield Mjolnir. You
Mhm.
see, both the things hit at the same time, and it was so great when Thor was like, I knew it that this guy was worthy." That was one of the most amusing moments of that movie, where I was screaming like hell. It
Mhm.
because it was a very natural reaction.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, sometimes you were like, oh shit, yes, yes. And I was like just screaming out, I was the first person.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude.
This this thing
It was
this
crazy.
reaction came from my side for this movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, where three Spider-Mans comes on the screen. I totally lost it because for me, if you ask me Spider-Man, the first image comes to me is Tobey Maguire. Uh, I don't see Tom and Andrew.
Andrew.
I don't know, like first imagination comes to Toby because obviously like I belong to that generation. So that's what like Toby is like. But when I saw Toby on screen for the first time in No Way Home, I went crazy mad because it was not me screaming and becoming happy. It was my younger self seeing him after so many years. Like I don't know, man. Like that movie was magical. Like some movies, I'm saying, right, some movies you don't want to see it in laptop or TV. You just have to be it's made to experience only in big screen. Like I wish I owned a multiplex where I could see every movies in big screen. But yeah, man, like that would be crazy actually.
This the point that you just said, after a year when this movie came, in 2020, somebody asked me like, if somebody gives you a wish, what would it be? So I
uh,
was like, that wish would be like, I want to forget how Endgame is,
uh,
and then I want to go back to cinemas and want to watch it again, so that I can feel that excitement and amusement again. Because
mm,
dude, I went crazy when I was watching this movie. I was so happy that yeah, they showed. And with the last moment, obviously when Tony Stark was smartly taken all the six stones and said that I am Iron Man. It was out of the world, man. It was out of the world that they showed like they showed like both of these guys, Tony Stark and Captain America. You know how Tony Stark was in first
mm,
movie in Iron Man 1. He was he was so arrogant,
yeah.
always thinking about himself, right? Not caring about anything, making weapons, not even caring like where these weapons are going,
Mm,
right? And Captain America was a test,
mm,
you know, was a test that happened, and then there was no use of him after that. But
yeah.
but these guys made themselves more than they were supposed to be, how
True.
people used to see them, right? People used to think that Tony Stark is an arrogant person who is so intelligent and he doesn't even care about people, and when they look at Captain America, they're like, he's just some test happened to him, and that's it. That's all it is. But
Mm,
the guy who had like nothing, we can see like in Captain America First Avenger how he was,
mm,
right? How Captain America was, how slim, short guy. But
yeah.
the only thing good in him was that he he was never scared.
Mm.
He was never scared of things, and
I think,
that made him worthy after
yeah.
70 years, dude.
I think Captain America was born brave just because he couldn't check that test. They rejected him, but obviously he built his character, like he built the worthiness, not to kill Thanos, but worthiness as a human, like to become a better person.
He proved himself that he can wield a weapon that was wielded by a god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know, you know, Today I was watching this movie called Dawn of Justice. I know we are not supposed to talk DC when we are talking about Marvel,
yeah.
but Batman told Superman that, you know, we are men, like men who fight for people, So that is the thing I was thinking about Captain America, that he was not a god,
Mm.
right? He was not born with power, but he was born with bravery. And that bravery made him worthy enough to like stand up in front of the most powerful army of the universe. You know how like he was not giving up. I remember his shield was broken. He was like
Yeah.
lying down and he was like shit, but still he stood up and it was great, dude.
Yeah.
For Captain America, I was like, man, total respect.
Like yeah. So when we see that Captain America and Iron Man, they were fighting in the battleground, and yeah, Captain America, he just gets tired and goes down on the floor. He sees that Thanos army comes from spaceship. All these people are running towards him, and he gets a call from this
On
T'Challa.
your left.
Yeah, on your left. So there, like you can see that, yeah, man, like there's a slight hope that there's something coming from that thing, and people started to
People
assemble.
stood up, in cinemas when all the Avengers came. Yeah, yeah. Everybody was
Yeah.
like they were about to fight
Mhm.
Thanos army, It
Yeah.
was crazy, dude. They made a very great movie for fans. I guess these two movies were only made for like the people who had been following like for the past, yeah, 2008. Yes. Since
Yeah.
2008, the people who have been following
Hmm.
uh, MCU, it was a gift. These two movies, it was a gift.
Hmm.
After that, only Spider-Man thing
Yeah.
was great. But till then, everybody was like, and
Yeah.
Pepper Potts also became like she had a suit
Yes.
and
Yes.
she
Yes.
also fighting. It was crazy, man. It was great.
Yeah. But that's what, like when we come to the technical part of this both movies, uh I don't know, man. Like Russo brothers, uh like we have seen that Avengers movies are created by this Russo brothers, and Russo brothers are coming back for Avengers Doomsday,
Hmm.
where officially Robert Downey Jr. is gonna come back as playing Doctor Doom. Uh, in my opinion, like he should not come back because now we don't see him as a Doctor Doom. We see him as like Tony Stark slash Robert Downey Jr. But okay, let's talk about that when this release gets released. Uh, so when this announcement came, right, when Doctor Doom is gonna come on MCU, and that is gonna be taken care by Russo brothers. There, I thought like, okay, now Marvel people are now serious because they know now they can't mess up. They can't keep producing content like She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, and etc. etc. So like, I don't know, man. Russo brothers, what team they have, but when you compare from a technical point of view, uh, this movie standalone, like it had like so many casts plus extras, and I remember like during this time, like I there were very strict policies where you can't leak photos and videos because this was getting into so much. Because I remember like this was a complete closure for MCU back then. So like I don't know how their team managed that this big news that he's gonna die or this mega event is gonna take place. They kept this for 2 years, I guess, 3 years, I guess. I don't know, man. Like, how did they manage to keep this everything intact and so big team? How did they manage it? Like, we as a filmmakers, like, I take inspiration from Russo brothers that, like, we both like when we had work in past, it's always been like less than 10 members, not even less than 10 members, less than 6 or 7 members, but they're handling more than 50, 100, 200, 300 people. That too, they're executing it in very crazy manner. Like, so that reminds me that how coordination and how planning will lead to crazy and legendary stuff. So I still see this and feel, oh man, like how did they create this and how do they manage to get everything done perfectly? But yeah, man.
Well, they have experience, dude. Like they became part of it for quite a long time back. And Obviously, it is also part of the experience part, especially, and when you have been working with the same cast, right?
Yeah.
And so it becomes part of the job. It
Mm.
becomes part of the job, and you don't worry about it. You just want to create benchmarks, I guess. That is
Mm.
the only thing you are seeking to make. Because the kind of amusement, the kind of feeling that I had when I was watching Endgame, I never had.
Mm.
Obviously in No Way Home, I was very excited after 2.5 years, obviously.
Mm.
But I was happy that yes, Marvel is making something like that.
Yeah.
But the level that was established by Endgame, it was crazy, man. And I when I was watching this movie 2 weeks back again in my 4K screen,
Mm.
I was still so happy, dude, that like, sure, this happened, that happened. And, two, three times, I watched that sequence where Captain America was fighting with Thanos,
Mm.
especially that one scene where he was like moving the Mjolnir like this and hit
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanos like that. It was crazy, man, where he proved he was more than that. He was more than a guy who was just holding a shield.
Mm.
So yeah, man, I guess I'll just take this part as a positive only. I guess whatever story could have led to or whatever happened.
Yeah.
And today also I like the part where we actually discussed that what could have happened with Natasha Romanoff if she wouldn't have died, right? There could have been a
Mm.
series and she would have been, and you know what, how interesting it would have been that in future there is a collaboration between Natasha Romanoff and Loki, and they are meeting, and then somehow some things are happening.
Okay.
So there could have been many things. At
Yeah.
least it would have been better than the things
Yeah.
that
The recent garbage.
you don't like. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it
There's a
was
series called in there's a series from Marvel itself, right? What if? So what if it's actually good? Like if you watch it, you will get to know that what if those incidents were taken place by other things or other characters. It's pretty interesting when you watch What If. Like I would recommend that you watch. It's not so bad. It's really good. So
definitely I'll watch it.
yeah.
And yeah, dude, I guess it was great. It was
Hmm.
great, and there are many aspects to it, but I guess whatever the aspects we were able to cover, I guess we all covered in Infinity War as well,
Hmm.
and in this movie as well. And for my motivation for today's episode was is just like the feeling that the movie gave. There
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
been many possibilities, and I was very, very devastated that Tony Stark should have been alive. Like things could have
Hmm.
been much more better. In the comics, that in the Marvel comics, there is this one of two Iron Man suit was made by the same element that was used to make, I guess, Stormbreaker and Mjolnir.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So he makes the suit after visiting Asgard. So I
Hmm.
used to think that if Tony Stark wields that suit that is made by the same element uh, that was used to make Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, would he be able to actually wield Mjolnir and Stormbreaker?
I don't know. Like maybe.
And just like Tony Stark's suit's main source is the arc reactor, right? That is
Hmm.
the story, right? Arc reactor. So I want to know like what would be the source of that particular suit, like because that suit making that suit would be much more complicated. I don't know, man.
Hmm.
My main question is, would he be able to wield those weapons with that
Uh.
suit? Because
Yeah.
that suit itself is a weapon. You
Hmm.
know, wielding that kind of thing is itself a big deal.
Yeah,
You
I,
know,
you know what, actually, we can write down whatever possibility can be achieved. We can actually make this live episodes like this.
and because power of star is needed uh, to boil up that metal, you know,
Hmm.
that you remember in Infinity War, they needed
Hmm.
star's power to boil up the metal and
Hmm.
uh, wield it into mold it into a shape. So I
Hmm.
imagine like how difficult it would be for Tony Stark if he starts making that suit with same kind of element.
Hmm.
Because titanium, he used to make his suit from titanium. So
Yeah.
Titan, he can make the shapes and stuff. Like he can change the shape of the suit with everything that he has. But making a suit with an element that is almost hard to break, hard to
Hmm.
wield, that is what I want to see. Like if that possibility come up front, in 2019 when this movie came, I was thinking so many things. We see nanotech in 2018, right? For the very first time.
Hmm.
The possibilities of nanotech.
Yeah. Yeah.
In 2014, when I watched all the parts of Iron Man, I used to think, you remember Ravan movie,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Shah Rukh Khan's
Yes.
Ravan
Yes.
movie, right? So there was this one particular scene in that movie where that Red, the villain guy
He's only Ravan.
was, yeah, the villain guy, the Ravan.
Yeah.
He was break down into cubes,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then he makes himself with that cube part. So I used to think in 2014, I'm talking about 2014, not 2019. Okay,
Hmm.
I used to think that if Tony Stark makes a suit like that,
Hmm.
where because in Iron Man 3 he was able to make a suit which was divided into pieces and then it comes onto
Hmm.
his body. But I was like, if he makes a suit which is made by these small pieces that comes over him, because
Hmm.
in 2014 there was this movie called Transformers 4. I don't know the full name of the movie. So in that, there was this nanotech technology was used.
Okay.
So these transformers changing themselves with the nanotech part only. So I was also making it relatable to that. Like if Tony Stark makes something like that, not nanotech. I
Hmm.
didn't know about what is nanotech at that time. I was just thinking that if he is able to make small pieces of his suit and then that part is coming over him,
Hmm.
right? And I also thought one thing. I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you that if he makes a goggles
Hmm.
that is able to show him everything, whatever things that he sees inside his suit. You see, like
Okay.
he can see through everything, and that kind of goggles that he gets in
Hmm.
Infinity War, right? Where he was able to see everything. And
That
so
would
yeah,
be
dude,
actually amazing.
I was crazy about Iron Man, fucking crazy about Iron Man. I even wrote a story that if Iron Man would have happened in our scenario,
Hmm.
how it would have been. I guess we are never going to know about that, but it's fine.
Okay. Is it like that bad?
No, no, it is not. I won't say it is bad. It
Yeah.
it was a creativity of a 16-year-old kid, but but
You can just okay. You
but
can yeah. I showed you my video where
I guess when we'll be having more fans, no, then we gonna
yeah.
reveal these dark shit
So
of our lives.
so this you're telling about this was made by 16-year-old and that video was made by 12-year-old. So
Directed by Ravi. That was the highest peak of that movie.
yeah. So I don't think anything should make you annoyed to share this. But obviously not here. You can tell me in person.
Yeah, actually, I have write it down like what kind of elements that I added in that.
Hmm.
Is this the interesting part is of the movie is that Tony Stark was made his arc reactor on his own, right? In my story, it was never happened this way.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it was a different story. And arc reactor was not just a power source. It was like a stone type thing, just like in all the infinity stones we
Hmm.
had, right? So arc reactor was like that. So
Crazy.
so that's why that's how the story was made up. But never mind.
Yeah.
We'll 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 discuss about this in some other episode. I'll actually read all the everything that I have
Yeah.
wrote it down because I
We'll we'll
almost
we'll
forgot what
discuss
happened.
we'll discuss about this story when in other scenario.
Other scenario,
Okay.
I mean,
In other setting.
okay, got it. I guess, yeah. Okay, oh, yeah. In that setting, it
Yeah.
would have been much more interesting
In
because my
in
mind
in
would have
in
been another
in
level.
in the stage where we listen Cornfield chase.
Yeah,
So there
usually,
so
yes.
there you can just
Yes.
tell me
And
about
Skin
this.
and Bones.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been a long time. Dude, you should come to the Yellow Building again. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah, yeah.
we should hang out sometime
Very soon.
because because I remember, guys, we are recording this episode after a long time because
Yes,
our
yes.
fellow Jaftaf was so much busy in saving the world. So
Saving myself.
now he's so frustrated. Now he's so frustrated that he had to shave. So
Yeah. So this is just new look, experimental. So I don't know, like, is it looking good? But yeah, this experimented.
so So yeah, man, I guess this is it from my side because I guess I have put up all the points that I could have said and whatever the feelings that I had because there were so many feelings that were associated with this movie and all the characters.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like I even I've discussed many major things what I felt about Endgame. But for me, Endgame, like it has been that movie where I couldn't watch this. For I watched this for the first time in theater itself, but when I had watched this, I didn't know the storyline. So I wish I could know the storyline and watch this for the first time in theater. But second time when I watched this, when knowing the storyline, then I regretted that. Oh shit, man! I could watch this in theater. But still like my experience was not so bad because like I had watched this epicness in the first time in theater. So it was just minor tweaks here and there. But yeah, man, like but I don't know, like it's very strange that the only movie I watched in theater for the first time, Marvel movies, is Avengers Endgame. Without knowing anything, and when I knew everything about Marvel, then no great movie came from Marvel. The only great movie came from Marvel is like Spider-Man: No Way Home. But yeah,
Yeah, that was the
yeah,
highest peak of
yeah.
the so far after
I
Endgame.
wish I could watch all the movies in theater, like of Marvel Cinematic Universe, like till from Iron Man 1 till Endgame, because that I considered that's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The rest all is bullshit. So yeah,
Well, all right, dude. I guess we should wrap up our Marvel universe here
yeah, yeah,
because and it was great that we gonna talk about this, and we're gonna obviously talk about more Marvel stuff. Sometime let's pick Iron Man sometime because I
yeah, yeah,
have so many things to discuss
yeah, yeah.
about Iron Man. How, and it
Actually,
is not from the music, it's not just the movie aspect, but my aspect towards
hmm,
a character.
actually we can go like one movie of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Or one character.
Yeah,
What
one
what
character.
what do you
Yeah,
think?
one character. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because then we can associate that character with multiple movies.
but
You
but
see.
but there's not multiple movies of Natasha Romanoff. Then how will?
Well, y- we'll figure it out what Natasha stuff that we need to watch and
But yeah,
discuss.
Natasha stuff. We can talk about Natasha stuff, and we can talk about
Yeah,
Captain Marvel's
definitely.
Brie Larson stuff, and
Yes.
yeah,
While having our stuff,
yeah,
right? So
and Karen Gill.
yes.
Yeah,
So
man,
yeah,
like
good, I guess. Let's wrap this here. Let's,
yes,
let's Okay, guys, have fun. It was nice talking Marvel fans. We are not Marvel hater. Please
yeah,
don't dislike
and
us.
yeah, like I've seen like the hate for the Marvel has started.
For us,
Yeah, for us, yeah.
for us.
Yeah, but yeah, like I think it's all part of process. Initially, we have signed for this, so we're gonna get this. But yeah, let's see when we talk about DC. what amount of hate is gonna come for us. But yeah, we'll be prepared for that.
Yes. All right, guys. Keep on
Yes.
watching movies and later.
Yes, guys. And bye.